All right, Bellwork 15A, question number 2. Remember, I'm going to help you start number 2 and I'm going to help you start number 3, but you're going to finish them on your own. So number 2, we want to write an equation for Schaefer Electric Company, which is this table right here. So just like number 1, in order to write an equation, we have to find the rate of change and we have to find the initial value. So let's start by finding our rate of change. So we're going to take 275 minus 125. 275 minus 125 is 150. And then 3 minus 1 is 2. So let's go down to number 2 here. Our rate of change, which is our slope, is the difference in y values, that's our 150, over the difference in x values, which is the 2. Divide those out, and you should get $75 per hour. Now we need to find the initial value. So remember, the initial value, your y-intercept, is the value of y when x is 1 minus the slope. So go up to your chart. Look, right there's your 1 for x. The 125 is your value of y when x is 1. So let's go ahead and put the y with the value when x is 1 there. And so we come down here, we take 125 minus the slope. Okay, so this is where you're now going to continue this on your own. You're going to find out, you're going to finish that there. I don't need to do 125 minus 75 with you. You can do that there. And then you need to find your equation. So remember, you will use your rate of change. That goes in front of x. You'll use your initial value. That goes behind x. And you'll write your equation down. And that will be your equation for Schaefer Electric. So now you could go ahead, pause the video, and go ahead and finish number 2. All right, number 3. They want to know which company charges less when an electrician works for 5 hours. Now, what you got to understand here is one company might charge less if it's only 1 or 2 hours. But that same company might actually end up charging more if it's 7 or 8 hours. So the number of hours will depend on which company charges less. So what you want to do is you want to take your equations that you just solved for. So we've got this equation that we did together up here for number 1, and then you just solved for an equation here in number 2. You're going to take those equations, and we're going to use this information to find a value for how much they charge for 5 hours. Well, hours, remember, hours, sorry, it's kind of hard to see that highlighting. Hours represents, or the x value represents the number of hours. So we're going to take 5 hours, we're going to plug it in for the x. So let's start by let's put FE, that will be for Fraser Electric. And that equation was 80x plus 25. So wherever the x is, I'm going to put parentheses. 80 parentheses plus 25. Then Schaefer Electric, let's put SE for Schaefer Electric. And you got that equation there in number 2. I'm not going to tell you what that is. But it would be the same concept as number 1. And then what you want to do is you want to plug 5 in wherever there was an x. And then figure out the total that they pay. So let's go ahead and figure out what it would be for Fraser Electric. Fraser Electric, if we take 80 times 5 and then add 25, we get 425. So you're going to do the same thing for the Schaefer Electric on your own, and you're going to compare the numbers. And then you've got 3 options for an answer. Your answer to number 3 will either be Fraser Electric Company charges less for 5 hours, Schaefer Electric Company charges less for 5 hours, or there is one more option. It is possible that they charge the same amount for 5 hours. But please, in your answer, make sure you're mentioning charges for 5 hours. So either, again, your answer is either going to be Fraser Electric Incorporated charges less for 5 hours, or Schaefer Electric Company charges less for 5 hours, or they charge the same amount for 5 hours. If you have any questions, let me know.